The Clovis Culture, the First Americans of the Stone Age. Episode 4, Daily Life in Motion. A cold wind sweeps across the Great Plains, whipping the tall grasses into a frenzy. 2 bison skulls lie abandoned on the ground, picked clean by scavengers. In the distance, a lone wolf howls. Today we're going to explore what life was like for the indigenous tribes that once roamed these lands. The sun climbed higher in the sky, the men set off to hunt. The women and children stayed behind to prepare hides, mend equipment, and care for the camp. The men would return with meat for the women and children. Some of the meat was dried and preserved for the winter months. Children play with bone toys. Women prepare hides. Hunters return from the plains. People are moving constantly. Their lives are in motion. They travel in bands, small and mobile. Their villages are not permanent. They move from place to place following the herds. They were spiritual people, connected to the earth and the animals around them. They believed that everything was sacred and should be respected. The men were responsible for hunting bison and protecting the tribe. They would set out in the morning and return in the evening with the meat and hides. The women were responsible for processing the hides and preparing the food. They would also gather berries and other plants for food. The children were responsible for taking care of the younger siblings and helping out around camp. Life was hard, but the tribes were strong and united. They had to be. In order to survive on the Great Plains, they had to be able to adapt to the changing seasons and the challenges that came with them. They had to be able to hunt and gather food, build shelter, and protect themselves from the elements and from other tribes. They did all of these things and more, and they did it with grace, dignity, and respect for the land and each other. They had a deep knowledge of the natural world and used it to their advantage. They are still connected to the land and to each other. They are still strong, resilient, and proud. They were patient, resourceful, and never gave up. They were strong, brave, and united. We hope you learned something new and gained a deeper appreciation for the indigenous tribes of the Great Plains. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an adventure. Until next time, happy exploring. Life was harsh but full of rhythm. Hunt, move, rest, repeat. They knew the land, they respected it, they survived it. First there are the bison skulls. These were more than just trophies. They were a symbol of power and strength. The skulls were often decorated with paint or feathers and hung from lodges or carried on raids. They were also used in ceremonies to represent the bison spirit. Then there are the arrowheads. These were made from flint or obsidian and were used for hunting bison and other animals. They were incredibly sharp and could pierce the thick hide of a bison. The arrowheads were also used in warfare, but the tribes preferred to avoid battle if possible. Finally, there are the hides. These were used for clothing, shelter, and blankets. The hides had to be processed carefully to prevent them from spoiling. Once they were ready, they were cut and sewn together using an awl and sinew. The hides were also decorated with paint or beads to show the wearer's status or achievements. The rest of the meat was shared with the other members of the tribe. They are talking, laughing, and telling stories. The flames crackle and pop, casting dancing shadows on the faces of the people. The stars shine brightly in the night sky above them. They are safe here, surrounded by their loved ones. The men tell stories of the hunt, of bravery and cunning. The women listen, their eyes shining with admiration. The children snuggle close to their parents, soaking up the warmth of the fire and the love of their family. This is their life. This is who they are. Bison provided all of their needs: food, clothing, shelter, and tools. Every part of the bison was used. Nothing was wasted. Their survival depended on the bison. From hunting bison to preparing hides and caring for children, these tribes were experts at surviving in the wild. Let's jump in. She works quickly, scraping away the excess fat and flesh. Her hands are calloused, her movements precise. They are making clicking sounds and moving a small piece of bone back and forth between them. The piece of bone has been shaped into a bird, and the children are imitating its movements. The flickering firelight dances in their eyes, their faces lit with joy and wonder. The children play while the adults work. They have time to be kids. The older children help the adults with their tasks. They don't have time to be bored. There are always things that need to be done, but they also know how to have fun. They make toys out of bones and play games that help them learn about the world around them. They have a strong sense of community and take pride in their culture. The children are the future of their tribe, and they are learning everything they need to know to survive. Her daughter watches, eager to learn. Another woman cuts strips of hide into smaller pieces for weaving. Yet another woman uses a stone tool to punch holes along the edge of a hide. Each hole is perfectly round, uniform, and spaced evenly apart. These hides will become clothing, blankets, and shelter. Their lives revolved around the hides. It took many hours to prepare a single hide for use. They used every part of the animal they hunted. Nothing went to waste. The hides had to be processed quickly before they spoiled. The women worked together to get them done on time. They lived in harmony with nature, taking only what they needed and giving back what they could. Let's take a closer look at some of the tools they used. Now let's talk about the daily life of the tribes. Today, the indigenous tribes of the Great Plains are still thriving. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time.